So this is what we call our maple bed because, as I've said before, we are very uncreative when it comes to naming our flower beds. That's a paper bark maple in the middle of it. That's why we call it the maple bed. And then to each side is a yellow rose. I dug those up from my last house, and I have a blog post that I can link to it about the story of these roses. They kind of have a long history with us. I dug those up a year and a half ago, and they have done beautifully. They survived the transplant very well. I'd had them about 10 years in my previous garden, and they just moved right over here. They're done blooming now. They'll bloom again. They bloom in May. I'm going to usually cut them back a little bit, and they will bloom on and off throughout the summer. They're an English rose. I believe they're a David Austin rose, but I don't know that for sure. There's a couple blooms. They bloom in clusters, and they smell heavenly. And they just get these sweet little bouquets of buds. So we're just going to take a quick walk. Everything else in here is mainly daylilies. I don't have a lot of perennials mixed in or anything. I'm going to work on that, but just point out some of my favorites as we move along. Go this way. This is When Pigs Fly by Bob Selman. And Green Inferno. Nice green color. Tall and spidery. If you like dark daylilies, this is Smith Brothers. And behind it is Beautiful Edgings, an old favorite. Back here, we had some rain this morning, so some of the blooms are not their best. But this is Art Gallery Blues. I don't know if I can get to the other side of it. Really stunning daylily. Another Lamberton, and then that is Riot Act by Paul Owen. And I will have that one rebloom almost always twice for me in the season. It blooms early, and it just keeps on blooming. It's a great plant. We have Bridgeton Celebrity, which I just think is a very sweet little daylily. I love the colors. I love the form. It starts a little later, so it is just getting started, and I have some that are already done. So I love to have that mix of plants that are early, mid-season, and late, so that there's always something blooming. More coneflowers. This is Mount Hermon Majesty. And then Mystical Rainbow back there. This one's probably not its best today, a little spotted from the rain, but this is Violet Muse from Mort Morris. And this is a really sweet double. It's tall, but it's a small flower. Penny Pinsley. And Paper Butterfly, another Mort Morris. Back here I have one of my favorite doubles, Word of Honor. I just love that color, and it just has usually too many ruffles in there to count. It's just so full and lovely. Jolly White Giant, a near white. Mandarin corsage. Wind in the rigging. And banana split cupcake is another double. It doesn't always fully double, but it's a very pretty daylily. Emperor's Dragon back there, and then Primal Scream, that orange one back there. Always very popular. And this is, oh, the name's escaping me. Sanford Showgirl. I believe that's a David Kirchhoff double. And this sweet little mini up here in the front called Little Clown. So the only organization to this bed is that the outer ring is short, the inner ring is kind of mid-height, and then the ring around the ring around the roses. The ring around the roses is my tallest daylilies, so they kind of go by height. And that was the only organization to this bed. This was a frantic push when we didn't know how long it would take us to get moved out to the farm. I just was frantically planting because I had to dig them up from the last house. That's Plumtopia, sorry. So I dug this bed in late summer of 2018 and probably moved about half the plants out here at that time. And then I've been adding to it the next spring and summer. I really haven't added anything to it this year though. Maybe 2 plants. Regal Attire. Older, but I think that's a lovely one. And Plum Cool. I'm excited to see that one bloom. That's from Paul Owen. That was a gift. I had an order with him and we talked about us buying this farm and he sent me that. And it's beautiful. I love having it here. This is not a daylily. It is not Phosphines. This is passion flower vine. It grows native here on our property. It's another host plant for butterflies, for their larvae, the Gulf fritillary. Now I'm not sure about that. But it has beautiful flowers. These are the flowers just starting. It comes back perennially here, and also it will throw seeds and we'll get new ones. So we have them coming up everywhere, and if I can keep them in a flower bed, I try to, so they don't get mowed off. So I'll probably stake these and let them climb up, and I'll share those flowers with you later when they start blooming. This is Persian Market. An older one, but I love it. I've had it for years. It's just always so bright and cheery and tall. I like big, bright, bold, tall flowers. This is Phantom Warrior. So if you like big, huge flowers, here, this is this is Aliens in the Garden. Nice picture with that yellow yarrow behind it. And then Amber Fire Glow from Bob Selman. And Wayfaring Stranger beneath it. Also, I believe that's Bob's. I think that's Bob's. And then another Paul Owen. My offer stands. Gorgeous daylily. Really tall too. It's really, really starting to get some height to it. And I just realized I skipped over one of my favorite daylilies. 2 of my favorites are right here. Back to over by Riot Act where I started. This is Cardinal de Rocheleau. And this is my favorite color in all daylilies. And it always looks gorgeous when it gets some raindrops on it. I don't know what to call that. Fuchsia, that's not really fuchsia, burgundy kind of color. But it always does beautifully. It blooms a long time. Very tall, so striking in a garden. This is Firestorm. Also another really popular daylily. Buttered pecan. Crazy Ivan down there. And then I often say this is my all-time favorite daylily, but I kind of say that a lot. This is not the best example of it. This is Art Gallery Iridescence. So it's a little splotchy because of the rain today. But I think if I had to pick one, that might be my all-time favorite daylily. This is that third row around the roses. So these are my taller daylilies back here. This is Regal Giant. Not as tall as it is in some years. And it's a dip, and that's another discussion too. We'll talk about the difference between dips and tets, because that can be important, or it can mean nothing, depending on who you are and what you want to do with your daylilies. This is Ivory Titan, a little washed out from that rain, but here's a pretty nice one. Very big blooms, very tall, and usually has a nice fragrance to it. Stinger, another Lambertson, and lavender handlebars fell to the ground in the rain. Huge purple spidery daylily. A lot of my tall ones seem to be late ones also, so you can see there's hardly any blooms back here. They're just getting started. This is Toy Trumpets. So very tall, but a very small bloom. So just because it's tall doesn't mean it has to be a giant bloom. Web of Intrigue. Honky Tonk Dream. David Kirchhoff. And I just hit this as I walked through, which is really sad. This is God Save the Queen by Mort Morris. Beautiful. Set it down there in that sedum. This is another Bob Selman. Plum Tucker. Love this one. I think I say that a lot. A few coneflowers and sedum, but like I said, this was kind of a panic planting, and I was just throwing plants in the ground that first year trying to get these somewhere. This is Marie's Gift. I think I showed you some of that the other day. There's a story to Marie's Gift too. This is my introduction, but I didn't create it, and I'll share that story with you another day. It's probably a long story. This is Dust Be Diamonds. And Frim Fram sauce. Oop, here comes the sun. Pink Super Spider, which is not as tall as it usually would be. It's a beaut. This is, I just got it last year, and it's a favorite. Cobalt Rings. I don't know if the colors will pick up on my phone, but it's a lovely shade of just a combination of lavenders and yellows and a gorgeous edge. Look at the edge on that. And yellow in the edge and a little bit of toothiness in the edge. It's just an incredible daylily. And then also new last year from David Kirchhoff, Truffle Glamour. Love that double. And this, I don't know if I can get a good picture of this one. Teddy Bear Hugs. by Eric Simpson. And Handwriting on the Wall by Carol Emmerich. Just stand back and try and get a big shot of all this side. That really tall one obviously doesn't belong there. That's kind of in that middle height row, and that's a mistake. It's got Masked Phantom in front of it, and I'm trying to think of what that would be. Twirling Wings. That's Twirling Wings. And Canary Wings. Moken Butterfly. And then behind it I have Destined to Sea. They're very similar in coloration, but Moken Butterfly tends to be taller. I have red ribbons back here. And look into my eyes. And more Twirling Wings. It is a little floppy, I think because it's wet. And I think there must have been a good amount of wind in this rain, and we weren't out here when it rained. So this Titanic Tower. I need to walk around. It's either Titanic Tower or Azure Wings, and I don't want to get it wrong. Titanic Tower. Cinderella Story. Very roughly pale yellow pink Daylily. I love that one by Bob Salmon. And then I gotta walk back around. I'm gonna get dizzy going round and round. I mentioned Lady Neva in my red and yellow bed, and here's another piece of it. That's what it'll look like when it blooms. So it's just getting started. So a little bit later variety. Some tall ones here in the back. We'll walk over there in a second. There's a Bob Selman, that pink fluffy one. I think it's Honky Tonk Barbie. Yep, Honky Tonk Barbie, and behind it, Red Volunteer. Red Volunteer always looks like it's made of velvet to me. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. Always gorgeous. And really stands up pretty well to the sunshine, which down here in the south, sometimes the darker colored ones have a hard time by the end of the day. They don't look so great, but usually looks pretty good. This is more Tennessee Sensation. We saw this in the orange and purple bed in the last video. And I'm going to blank out on the name of that. I'm going to have to walk around and look at the tag. What? Moonlit Masquerade. How could I forget that? Isle of Capri. Saw that in the yellow and red bed yesterday. And this is Kangaroo Court by Paul Owen. And Meet Joe Black. Always so stunning. Just incredible. Almost there. All the way around the circle. This is Lindville's. That doesn't sound right. Lindell's Pink Lemonade. Love the just pure pinkness of that one. Beautiful. And I love this form too. I just love that, those twisty petals. Fooled Me, very popular older one. And then Skinwalker, again twisty petals. That nice pink lavender coloration. Shake the Mountains, bold, tall one. And Tar Heel Wingding. That's got a little Bob Selman corner going here. That's a Bob Selman. And we have Asheville Twilight Time by Bob in front of it. And James Parker, also by Bob. And Fiesta Latina. We'll just call this corner Bob's Corner, I guess. So I think that does it for the maple bed. I hope you enjoyed the walk around. I hope you were inspired by some of the flowers. If you have any questions about daylilies, just please feel free to comment below and I'll be happy to answer them. And if you have anything else that you'd like me to make videos about, just let me know. Have a great day. Bye.